Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Wendy. I work at Atlassian and I have been a lone writer for most of my career. So joining Atlassian for me was quite a big step to see that there are actually other writers out there doing the stuff that I've been doing for years and years and years by myself. And one of the other tech writers approached me to do some content pairing. And I thought, how can this possibly work? How can you possibly write with someone else? Because if you've got one person writing and another person writing in the same document, it's going to get messy. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with all the other stuff around it, the unspoken stuff, like being polite, saying, I don't like what you've written. I think mine's better. All that sort of stuff. And so the reason she actually asked me to do this is because I have a very different background to her. She wanted to do UX writing. She was actually a SQL person. Her background was in one type of engineering. Mine was in computer science and writing. So when she joined Atlassian, she focused on UX. And she was asked to do some documentation for something about parallel imports. And parallel imports had a problem with different nodes. It was quite a technical thing, and we had to nut it out together. So we did have some engineers we could ask questions of, but what we did was we had 1 hour per week where we got together, we looked at the documentation we needed to do, and we started writing it together. And what we did was we discussed, first of all, what the information architecture should be. And then once we had that right, we could start doing small sections of our own writing, comparing it, discussing it, and then storing it down the bottom if we didn't think it was quite right. So we could come back later, we could kind of look at it and go, that was actually better, let's put that back in. We didn't lose anything. So I highly recommend if you do this, keep what you've done down the bottom. You can always reuse. And if you can't reuse, you can at least compare. So we had table structures, we had bullet points, same content, which is better. And what we did was we just communicated with each other during these sessions. It was like a quick group, but really concentrated. And we were able to get some really well-defined content on the page at a higher quality in a shorter time. So I highly recommend, if you get the opportunity to do content pairing, go for it. Don't worry about all the questions about how you're going to have it on the page, how it's going to work out in the end. Just go for it, but start with some rules. So discuss what you want to achieve, what the goals of the content are, sorry. And then make sure that you both have the same understanding of what you're documenting. So chances are one will know more about the topic than the other one, depending on what you're writing. Get each other up to speed and then be patient with each other as well. Let the other person talk. Challenge the other person. Ask them why they've chosen a table over bullet points or why they think a diagram is a good idea. And let them challenge you. Make sure that you're open for that feedback, because for me personally, as a lone writer in so many roles, I found that I have certain ways of writing and my colleague was able to challenge me on those. And my writing as a result has actually improved. So that's probably about all I've got to say. It must be near the 5 minutes.
You can keep going if you like.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy.